Hello, YouTube. All right, welcome back. I think our first Cooking with Denoy episode in a very long time. For today, I'm actually going to be making some baby back ribs. Yeah, I just bought these ribs from Walmart. Premium pork baby back for $9.22, which is kind of expensive, but I'm actually going to be making this for 2 or 3 meals. So comes to about $5 or less per meal, which isn't too bad considering that it's baby back ribs, which would normally be very expensive if I were eating this in a restaurant. And you're like, hey, what's he doing here? He's actually got toaster oven. This is the Cuisinart that I found that somebody was throwing out. And I got my rice cooker here cooking. And power is actually being provided by the park where I'm at. Free. So some people had questioned why I use 120 volt appliances. This is it. As most of my camping is urban camping or urban stealth camping, and the parks around here have free electricity that you can use. All you have to do is just be there when no one else is there, and they have it turned on so you can actually use it. In this case, I have 120 volts, which I'll be using to cook the rice, even though I can cook it using the inverter in my van. But for today, since I'm at the park, I will go ahead and use the park's free power. You can see the power is on. Rice is cooking right now. And we're going to be prepping the baby back ribs and then cooking them. Now, we just had our winner for the headlamp, and I had given her, the winner, some Badia. Told her I would do a cooking episode for her. So this is dedicated to you. And what we're going to do is basically cook the ribs using Badia. And these are chopped onions. And then this is, I think, from Dollar Tree, cheap soy sauce from Dollar Tree. And that's pretty much it. Now, normally you could cut the baby back ribs like in half and then lay them, on here as 2 half racks. But because I don't want to have to cut them later, I will probably go ahead and cut the ribs themselves into slices and then lay them out here and season them all, instead of trying to do it, season it as a half rack, putting it on there to roast and then cutting it after I'm done cooking. So we'll go ahead and do it before we're done cooking, and before we even attempt to cook it. And the reason I'm doing that is because I think it'll cook faster and more evenly. So because the ribs will be cut into slices, the meat will cook all around. So stay tuned for that. As you can see, I have removed the ribs from the packaging and cut it into 2 racks, 2 half racks. And I've also rinsed it. That's one of the good things about having access to a park with electricity and water. You can actually prepare food and clean it. So what I'm going to do now is actually cut each individual rib. See the ribs? So we're going to go ahead and cut each of those. I don't have a mounting bracket or anything for my camera, so we're not going to film this unless I can set the camera down somewhere and you guys can kind of just watch it. Maybe we'll be able to do that. And you can watch me working, because some of you seem to enjoy that. All right, it looks like it is still recording. I forgot to turn it off. So you can see it. It's actually sitting on the. It's sitting on the. Let me stand a little closer so you can see the action here. It's sitting on the in the oven, the toaster oven. The camera is. Look at all that meat. Doesn't that look so good? Goodness. I had a choice of getting like the regular ribs. I guess they call them spare ribs, or the baby back, and I decided on the baby back because the regular spare ribs, it was too big, and it's just me going to eat these, so I didn't want to make like something that I couldn't eat in one day. So we're gonna have baby back here. This is a little, look at that little baby back. So this is what it looks like. So I'm going to cut that and set that aside. I'm going to do that for each of these little riblets. We'll cut another one here. There's a lot of meat on here. I normally don't get the baby back because I like getting, I can't really tell the difference between baby back and the spare ribs. So I normally get the spare ribs because they're cheaper and they're bigger, so you get more meat. But there must be a reason they charge more for the baby back. Maybe they taste better or something. I don't know. But by the way, for those of you, a little trivia here. Do any of you recognize this knife? Where does this knife come from? Some of you will know. So we're gonna go ahead and figure out how to get through all this. This is a lot of meat, a lot of bone too. In the baby back ribs actually seem pretty bony. So we'll go ahead and cut that. All right, look at that. That's a lot of meat. Goodness. So I'm gonna do that. And another one. Man, there's so much meat on here. Maybe that's it. The baby back seems to have like thick, look how thick the meat is on here. It's amazingly thick. So I'm just gonna cut off this chunk. This is just meat. And we'll get a couple more bones here separated. It's like bite size. I ordered some baby back ribs from Winn-Dixie the other day. They were like a half rack, and it was like $6 or $7 for half a rack. And it was okay. It wasn't bad. I thought it was pretty good, but $7, I mean, this is like, I'm paying $9, $10, and I get a whole rack. And I think these ribs have more meat on them than, these just look a lot bigger and more plump than the ones I got from Winn-Dixie, to be honest. So, I got the second rack here that I'm going to cut up. This is looking so good. Oh my goodness, I'm salivating. The rice is already done. So, you're kind of watching this in real time. Living in a van on the cheap doesn't mean you have to eat just cheap food. You can save your money. You know, this really isn't much more expensive than somebody eating at McDonald's or something. If you consider that a McDonald's meal will cost you about $6 or $7 per meal, sometimes even $9 or $10, and all you get really is a burger and some fries and a soda, this meal is like a $5, $6 meal, and you're getting baby back ribs. So cooking it yourself, you know, makes the difference, and you get like much better food. Now the toaster oven that I'm using, the Cuisinart, I found for free. Somebody was tossing it side of the road, so it didn't even cost me anything. But you can buy those, I think, cheaply at Walmart for like under $30, and if you get a used one at Goodwill, you might be able to find it for like $5 to $10, maybe $15 at the most. So we got all the meat done, and I'm going to show you what it looks like here now. This is my tray of meat. Look at that. Baby back ribs. So what we're going to do is season all that. Let me wash my hands real quick. All right. So we are just going to season all of this by sprinkling our magical Badia, which makes everything taste better. We'll just sprinkle Badia all over everything. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Look at that. Just liberally sprinkling Badia. Almost pouring it on there. Then, all right. I see that camera had shut off. So I'm not sure if I showed the ribs being loaded into the Cuisinart. And it actually has two modes. You can go to the right, which will give you 3 minutes only, like for toast. We go to the left, and that sets it on permanent on. There's no timer. I set it on broil and 425 degrees. So while that is cooking, I'll let it cook for maybe 20-30 minutes and check up on it. I've got the rice here, which is almost done. It is blowing steam. And one of the pluses of having 120 volts and having access to a park that has power is, I don't really have any issues right now. It is a very overcast day. I know you can't see it in the camera, but it's not even noon yet, and it looks dark because it's overcast. So I'm going to go ahead and let this finish cooking, and then we'll go ahead and maybe do a part 2 where we just kind of talk a little bit and share some other stuff. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I want to make another video here showing you how I built this whole system up and what the plan will be for Little Blue to make this air conditioner work. So stay tuned for that. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. And I hope that wherever you are, you're eating well and taking care of yourself. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye now.